So this is a pair I got on eBay last year when they came out. I think it was April 2023 or May 2023, and it's the Nike Corteiz Air Max 95 SP, and this is the pink Tings colorway. And I kind of bought them as my probably first pair of Air Max 95s, and never had a pair as a kid, so I was interested in getting a pair, and then I bought these ones. And then I also bought another pair, which was the fish scales, Air Max 95 koi. With this one, it's quite nice actually, because it comes with this bag to, I guess, put your trainers in. It's a plastic bag, it's not much to it really. I bought this pair on eBay as well, and I think I was quite lucky because I paid a really cheap price for these. I think it was around the 240 mark, which is above retail, but they were quite sort of limited and quite sort of hard to get. But this pair is just really cool in my opinion, because when you see it more in person, you can see the details that's been added. And the initial aesthetics, it kind of looks more like a trail sneaker, and that's what the Air Max 95 to me looks like. And if you can see here, you can see the different sort of color panels. So it's got navy here with the Corteiz logo at the front, which it normally would have been, I suppose, a Nike swoosh. And then you got the blue going all the way around, and then also you got this sort of dark green, almost kind of going on towards sort of black color green, and it's quite sort of dark really, so it's more like a bottle green, I guess. And then you got this kind of caging system here, which is not really something, it's not you know, sort of stretchable or anything like that, but it's got this material that you usually sort of see, I suppose, on a shopping bag. And it's quite cool and quite nice to sort of look at, and just gives that sort of different visual perspective. And then also I like they put the Corteiz logo at the back, and it's all sort of stitched in, which is a cool touch. And then the air bubbles themselves being in pink, and the color just works because it's like the triple color. And also the laces, they've got the toggle lace system, so again similar to like a trail shoe, so that's another one, that's a cool touch. And then you got the Corteiz icon on the tongue, and then in the inside it's got that camouflagey material. And then also on the back it has the coordinates. I think this is when it was first launched, and so it's a cool pair, and the leather quality is nice and you kind of feel to the touch, and the one above that also feels pretty good as well. So, and I also like the outsole with the pattern on it. That kind of reminds me of I suppose a Jordan 8 actually. And yeah, just a cool sneaker. And I think for me though, I just don't get on with the silhouette. I just don't like the way it looks on my foot. Maybe because I've got a wide foot, it just doesn't look quite right. So that's my only issue with Air Max 95s. So after having bought them after like 20 odd years or whenever they first sort of released, and come to realise that it's not a silhouette for me really. But still, I like it on other people's feet, just not my feet. So here are the details for the Nike Air Max 95 Corteiz Pink Beam. It comes in a gridiron, pink beam and black colourway, and they have Air Max units in the heel and also in the forefoot, and it has a EVA midsole, and it's made up of leather and synthetic materials, and the price was £190. So with the comfort and sizing, these have a medium to firm sole, so I think they're slightly more on the firmer side than say an Air Max 90, but it does obviously have air units on the front and also on the back, but you do feel a little bit of give there. I wouldn't say it's a lot, but it still feels, you know, enough. It just gives you enough sort of support. And these are sort of made more for running anyway, before back in the day, but nowadays they're used more as a lifestyle sneaker, so they should serve that purpose fine. And they almost look like a trail shoe. And they also have good neutral support around the arch. It's not like amazing, still one of the sort of earlier Air Max products, so don't expect it to be, you know, giving you really good arch support, but it's still good. And because of the leathers and the midsole being of air, you know, having air units, it will take around sort of 2 to 6 hours for them to sort of wear in a bit and just feel a bit easier on feet. And I think true to size works for these. I tend to go up half size because I have a wide foot, but true to size should work. And Just bear in mind there's quite a lot of padding inside the trainer itself, and usually with runners you get that. And I think these have a good traction for all seasons, because they're quite sort of similar to a trail shoe, so similar to an MX TN Plus as well. So, and those trainers as well sort of lend themselves well to wearing any time. So with the look and style, it's a 1995 retro runner, so it's now going on sort of 30 years old, and it sort of has really sort of wintry colours really. So the only thing that's loud is the pink, and you don't notice that too much on the trainer itself anyway. It's only in the Air Max units and also the sort of logos. And this is one that can be worn all seasons. I don't see why not. You won't be able to wear it sort of spring, summertime, and it will work brilliantly in autumn, winter because of the colourway, and there's enough protection because of the leather as well. And mainly sort of casual wear for these. I don't think you can dress them up smart. They've got that kind of chunky, almost sort of chunky sneaker vibe / trail vibe, so I won't really be dressing these smart casual. But I'd go with the toggle laces that come with it, but you can also swap them out for sort of black or like a dark navy or like pink laces to give it some pop. So with the final thoughts, I like the fact that Corteiz have elevated the silhouette. It's made it a lot more than what an Air Max 95 normally is. And my only gripe is probably the air units themselves. Maybe they could have done more with that to introduce sort of slightly newer tech or revised Air Max units. But it's a great one for winter. Like I said earlier, it's one of those trainers that because of the colourway, you won't feel too bad about wearing these sort of in that sort of time, like autumn, winter. And I like the different materials and the textures on there. So you've got that kind of netting at the top, and then the sort of graduating leather panels around it. In terms of cons, I think the costs, so always have a bugbear with something that is a 30-year-old sneaker and still costs sort of £190, especially with this being a collab. And just the comfort, so you're not getting away from an Air Max 95 being not the most comfortable, but it's fine for everyday use, but just don't expect, 990 V6 or 1906R level. So with the ratings, I give the look and style this one a 5 out of 5. I think they've done a really good job with this pair, and it's just unique, and they didn't release that many pairs of them as well, so they are one of those silhouettes that I think over time will just sort of creep up and up in value as well, I guess. But it's warranted because they do look very, very nice. And the comfort, I'm going to give it a 4. It's not like it's horrible, it's just one of those things that it's not going to be one of those trainers that you go to wear sort of every day, and it's one to sort of pull out when you want to sort of go out or stuff like that. And the quality on these, I could give it a 5. I think the leather quality is really nice, and because they've elevated the silhouette and done a few more sort of added touches to it and changed up some of the upper as well, which in terms of like the netting, things like that, it just works really, really well. And the pricing, like I have a bit of a bugbear on it in general, like being expensive, but because this was a Corteiz collab, and the fact that they used sort of different materials and sort of tweaked the silhouette enough to make it warrant the pricing. And then for that reason, I think this is a classic shoe. I'm not like a huge sort of Air Max 95 fan, but this particular pair I think it's probably one of the most nicest ones that have come out over the last sort of 5 years. So in my opinion, they kind of knocked it out of the park with this one.